Well, it looks pretty dark, doesn't it? But it's okay. You don't have to see my face. I'm all fussy and hair standing all over the place. I need a haircut, but I don't want a haircut. Well, I just saw a video from mafugel.com, and he had some pretty startling information that he has obtained. I cannot confirm, and neither can Mafugel confirm that about the authenticity of this information. But one thing is fact, that is that quite recently Black Hawks were in California area doing exercises airlifting people off skyscrapers. Well, after Ridgecrest, they're doing it again. And another thing is they're starting to drain the dam lakes from water, and all of them is consistently at this moment been drained 2 feet, and it's some pretty large chambers of water, pretty large lakes. So 2 feet is a significant amount of water taken out. Also, I listened to Steve Quayle today, and they were talking about the Cascadia subduction zone, which is not looking promising. It's now 317 years since it snapped, and it sent 1,000 feet tsunami slamming into the east coast of Japan. And you can pretty much imagine how the decimation of the east coast of Japan has been with 1,000 feet wave. And also there is clear evidence of a 500 feet wave hitting the west coast of United States, and that was before the settlers came over here. The immigration started up, and Japan got that in their records, and that's provable. They have written this down, that this happened, and they don't know where it came from. It just came, and they actually are behind the name tsunami. That is a Japanese word. And some weeks ago, I think it was July 7th, I made a video. That was a couple of days after Ridgecrest earthquake. Said that we might look at a volcanic eruption in that area, and I was pointing towards one of the killer volcanoes that is far larger and far more deadly than this spooky Yellowstone is. And according to Steve Quayle, he's been speaking to some experts, and they actually say that this fear-mongering regarding Yellowstone is laughable. That is not to be our concern. It's venting here and there, and the steamboat has become active, but that don't mean we have have a volcanic eruption going on or imminent. So, according to the experts he's been talking to, that is that Yellowstone, we don't need to worry about that thing. We need to worry about those 13 volcanoes sitting over in Washington and Oregon. They are something to worry about. And Mount Baker is starting to smoke. That is a sign, smoke coming from the volcano's top, that could mean a volcanic eruption is on its way in that region. But when I said that we're probably looking at a volcanic eruption in California by this volcano just north of Ridgecrest. Can't remember the name of it, but it's in Long Valley, and it's a very dangerous volcano. But according to Mafugel, and information has been obtained from the USGS so-called whistleblower, that they have found on the Ridgecrest a magma chamber larger than Yellowstone building, and the question is this one gonna surface? It's building, it's growing, and we know there is a lot of magma in that region of United States of America, the western part. A lot. There's a lot of volcanoes on the west coast. I mean, there's so many, it's unbelievable. But we don't consider them as a threat. We're more concerned about the earthquakes. But as I described in my video, there's a link below. You can go get that video and watch that and get some more of, because I ain't gonna sit here and speak for hours. I pretty much explain it to you how I see it and what my intuition is telling me and from what I'm looking at. And to me, it don't to me require a PhD. It just require a good sense of understanding and of course some intelligence. I won't say I'm the smartest animal in the forest and the fastest animal in the forest, but I'm definitely not born behind a barn. But they have Vogel has obtained information from an employee at USGS saying that they went to the site after the earthquake. Cracks has appeared in the ground in the area, pretty wide and pretty far, or pretty long. And those cracks could be because of a rise in the ground. You know, the ground is like that and it's shaking, and then magma is starting to move, and then it opens, and there you have a crack, a fissure. If that's the case, more magma will run in, because if the ground gives way for that magma, more magma is going to come in and fill the void from what has just been lifted up. So if there's a rise in the landmass around these cracks, you know, disturbance from vertical or horizontal to slanted, if that's the case, then we're looking at a bulge growing underneath. And as this USGS said, this magma chamber is larger than Yellowstone. It could be that a new volcano is forming. Volcanoes do not exactly have a designated area for where they appear. They will find the weakest spot in the ground, and it will work its way up through there. Least resistance. And apparently in that area where, according to Dutch Sense, they got several plants, power plants, where they are harnessing the heat, the steam, to create electricity from underground. And that requires a lot of drilling. And that drilling might have compromised the structure in the ground, just like we saw in the Gulf oil spill. They compromised the Gulf seafloor, and now the loop current is permanently deactivated, which is part of, you know, their agenda for culling of the population, because that's the ultimate goal, that is to kill us off. And as I've said that for years, they want to kill us. End of story. They want to kill us. They really want us down to 500 million people, and they are going to do whatever it takes to get to that target they have set for themselves, and they will get there through all the stuff that is going on. Much of it is man-made destruction. Many of the storms are produced electromagnetically, ionizing the atmosphere, deionizing the atmosphere, and working the storms together. And latest, Mr. Mr. MB333 had a video where he saw two storms merging over Kansas. Two big low pressure systems, one going that way, one going that way, and they merged and became one and went northeast. Now how the hell can they go that way? One is pushing, so whoever is strongest will push the other to the other way. They will not converge and then start shooting northeast. Or that will be northeast for you looking. So yeah, a lot of stuff is done by man, evil men, that is determined to kill us. But if this USGS employee is correct or truthful regarding this new chamber growing underneath Ridgecrest, I can assure you we're looking at a volcanic eruption. One we need to reckon with. And as I said, I don't think I said that, but I'm going to say it now. If we have a volcanic eruption in Ridgecrest, it will be the end of fresh produce to the entire United States of America, permanently. And to many other countries that America is exporting to. They will too suffer from the lack of fresh produce. All kinds of fresh produce. So, a volcanic eruption in Ridgecrest with a chamber larger than Yellowstone blowing up, it would decimate the food chamber in California permanently. And we are looking at pandemonium in the streets. We are looking at a situation that I strongly believe that not even UN and armed forces serving America would be able to, stifle. It will be complete chaos. There will be nothing they can do. It would be madness. So, some 300 million people going hungry all of a sudden because there's nothing on the shelves. They're going to seek some food somewhere, and their survival instinct is larger than the survival instinct of a UN and a serviceman of the United States of America. And maybe the serviceman of America won't even engage against his own citizens because they're not supposed to, but they are by law under the table now in the realm of they have to. But I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to stand up and start shooting on their fellow brothers and sisters. I don't think so. So it's not to fearmonger at all. It's not to create fear porn at all. You gotta look at the facts that the earthquakes are on massive rise. 20,000 earthquakes in the area of Ridgecrest since the earthquake started, which I have said to you in the video, the links below, is a clear indication of volcanic activity. Not an earthquake, but volcanic activity, because that's exactly the signature that a volcano before it blows is sending you. And the scientists know that, but you won't hear that in the news. You will only hear it from .Sense, from Marfugel, Paul Bakley, and you will also hear it from me. You won't hear it on TV. They won't tell you anything, because they bought and paid for. So put your sunglasses on and pay attention, because they live. Over and out.